ndị be anyị bịakwanụ nụrụ na ntị m ejuna bịakwanụ ka unu nụrụ interview onye a na-akpọ Paralamoku News melụ Doris o wee kọrịa ka ya na Pastor Chris si wee bido yiwa ife na-eserufe okwu na Pastor Chris na-anọ n'ime moto wee na-agba ya egwu ọlakịrịpụtụ wee kọrịa ka Pastor Chris si wee kọrịa na Pastor Jeremiah bịalụ program n'ụlọ ụka ya wee tụba nwaanyị ime nke bụ na $10 million ka eji wee mechinye bụ okwu wee kọrịa na onye a na-akpọchi wee Fred jikwa wee na-atụnyelu Pastor Chris onwe ya wee na-akpọtarị ya ndị teleb ka ọ na-alarị hei ife arakọla ebe echikekwa o wee bụrụ na ife na-eserufe okwu bụ na-enwere ife Doris lụrụ Pastor Chris and Pastor Jeremiah afọ Suleman tokwana ya unu ya bịa nnọọ unu geru na-ewe m iwe na nyebe akụkọ bụ na Doris kwesịrị ịkọ sọsọ ife na-eseru ya na Pastor Chris nke ọ na-emezi ndị ọzọ involve na ya so nke a bụ ife m alaiki unu ya bịa ka unu gere nyebe akụkọ na otekwala aka o wee bụ na nwanne Doris nwụrụ anwụ na ori okwute a chọrọ ịma Doris ka ya bụ nke nwoke ji isi wee zeru ọ bụrụ na Pastor Chris na ya na Doris na-enweburi okwu n'ụlọ ikpe maka ya bụ $45 million ọ kpụpụ gị ụlọ ikpe kpụcharịa ma ndị uwe ojii Doris anọdụ mgbe tie enyi nwanne ya na Pastor Chris ji ndị uwe ojii bịa kpụrụ ya nne so ife niile amecha ị ka na-esi ọnwụ na onye agha nụ ọ sịkwa na Pastor Chris ya anya na ọ bụrụ na ọnụ ya fana aba adịtị ngụ na ọ bụrụ na ọnụ ya ti ọgbara ọtọ nwa iyi nwekwa ife ọkọfọ ebe a ka nwa ti wee pụ ya n'afọ ka Pastor Chris ti wee ti n'otere ime anụkata m akụkọ ntị m wee ju ntị ka m butere ụnụ biko achọdị m ikwute okwu aka maka na ya bụ ife onyonyo tere aka ebe Paralamoku News jụrụ ya ajụjụ ewepụnata m ya mana ife niile Doris kọrọ etiri m ya maka na o tere aka ya ka m ji wee gbubinata ebe ọ jụrụ ya ajụjụ mana ife niile Doris kọrọ unu ya anụ ya ọ sịkwa na ya bụ ife agwụbeghị na Doris ka ya akọ mma enwe ndidi ka Doris kọcha o ya abụ ya
Chris and I met 2017.
2017.
When, yes, I was at the first headquarter. Him too was at first headquarter. I was with Chioma Okoye,
Okay.
my colleague then. So went for a matter in the first headquarter. So Chris was walking down on part of the road in that station. I was walking down. Then he now said hello to me, approached me. I didn't know who he was then. So as he approached me, I was talking to him then. His bouncer now rushed to hold me. He now took me inside his car. Said, let's go inside the car. He now said, his name is Chris, but I should give him my number that he was going to call me. So I gave him my number, and that was it. So as soon as I left, me and Choma were talking. Choma said that she knows that guy, that the guy is a very big pastor. I said, me, I don't know him. So as we were talking, like 1 hour later, he now sent me a message and said, this is Chris. I said, wait, I didn't know it was him, but he said, hi, this is Chris. So as I looked at the message, I said, who is Chris? Someone said, him, his name is Chris. So he now called, and I think he now called my number, and he now said, how are you? When am I leaving Abuja? I told him. He said, okay, if I get to Lagos, I should call him so that we'll see. So when I got to Lagos, he was actually the one who called me and now gave me an address in Ojodubega.
Yes.
They said that it was in the evening that he said I should come to the address. So when I took over, I got to that place. It happened that it was his church. He sent his pastor, Pastor Sylvester, to come and receive me. That was the night vigil. But when I got there, the vigil was already ending. It was around 12 midnight or 1, I think so. The Pastor Sylvester now took me to his office upstairs. The one was when we started talking. Then he now said he liked me. I said, okay. So that was when he also found out that I was an Hollywood actor. And now talked. He said, okay, that I was going to come to visit him. That I was going to the village.
Yes.
That me too, am I going? I said, yes. This was New Year. I think it was crossover night.
Okay.
So yeah, that was why around after 12:1, that was when that thing happened. Then I said, okay, that they are going to the village. I told him, okay, that means I'm coming to the east. He said, okay, that when I get to the village, he will invite me to the house so I can meet his mother.
Yes.
So that was when I got to my place. He now sent me his address in their village. You go from Okigwe. It's from Anambra, but you go from Okigwe. His place is not far from Okigwe Road.
Okay.
So you pass through that Okigwe Road to his village. So he sent me the address. I now drove down to his village. There he introduced me to his mother, introduced me to his father. Then we all had food together in their house.
Yes.
Then I stayed there for hours. We're just gisting, getting to know each other. And after that, he now sent his escort driver, his police escort,
Yes.
to carry me and drop me off, like to follow me behind for security and take me to Umaya. So I now left. Then during that period, I visited him like 3 times in that village. So it was that period that we kissed for the first time in his village. And after that, we didn't make love, but we kissed. So
Okay.
after that, he took me to he took me to okay, when he came back to Lagos after they finished the vacation, we were talking. He now gave me his house address, Unilage State. His house is in Unilage State, Ojutubega.
Yes.
So I went to his house. It was his sister's daughter that received me, Chizoba.
Okay.
Chizoba
Jesus.
was the one who received me. Yes,
Yes.
and I met his daughter, Chinyere, and I think the first and second daughter. Then the other one that is Abino too. So that was what happened. Then we now went upstairs to his room. We were now there that we now asked. So subsequently, if I'm coming, so I became very close with the children, the daughter.
Yes.
So Chizoba is the one who receives me and all that. So Chizoba used to call me too. So we became family.
Yes.
So in between that relationship, we dated that year past. So at that, we were just dating. It was just, I would say that sometimes he would lodge me at Marriott Hotel. He used to put me
Okay.
in Marriott Hotel. Most times, I would even invite me, I'll come to church. Even while in church, as he's preaching, if usher, any usher come near me, he will use mic and even warn the usher. People should be careful with guests. Don't be going near. That's how jealous he is.
Okay.
He's that jealous. So we started dating. He said he doesn't have any other girlfriend. Because there was this girl they were accused. I saw online. Her name is Amaka. Choma
Okay.
Okoye also told me about the Amaka and her girlfriend. So when I asked him, he said no, that nothing like that happened.
Say not the data.
So even when they did say not to say they are just giving false accusation. One time, sef, I came to that church, he raised money for that Amaka. He caused quarrel between me and him. I said, why are you giving her that special treatment? He said, because she's just a loyal church member. That nothing, like cannot even sleep with her. That she fat like that. How can he sleep with her? With all the fat everywhere. I did not even rate him. That of all the people that you want to sleep with, is that one that is fat and old. That was what he said. So after that, then even Chinyere Winifred, we have also had issues with Chinyere Winifred because Chinyere Winifred pastor, my husband is a pastor in that church.
Uh-huh.
So, so he
Who's
has
this
also
share?
told me that Chinyere Winifred is my colleague.
Yes.
So he told me that Chinyere used to throw herself at him, but he doesn't want. That Chinyere used to bring so many of my colleagues to him
They can't give
that he
am.
rejects them. Yes,
Well,
that he rejects them. So one
which year be
time, one
this?
of my colleagues, this things happened between, as in all these gist was between that 2017, 2018. All these things were just what we were normally discussed. But
Okay,
within
yeah.
2017, 2018, yes. So it was 2019 that the relationship paused when I wanted to get married, and I told him. So
Okay.
he told me a lot of things and all that. But at the end of the day, when I wanted to get married, I told him I wanted to get married. He now said, okay, that I should wait for him. I said, no, because my mom is putting pressure. And this guy, I knew him before I even met him, that this guy has been on my neck, that he wanted me to marry him. In fact, it was short. I think it was that 2017 that I met Chris, shortly after my father died.
Yes.
After I met Chris, my father died. So then when I wanted to get married, I told him, and I said, okay, no problem. But that I'm breaking it out. But I think my mom is on my neck. I should marry the guy and all that because the guy has been into my family. And eventually, when I married the guy, Chris was not happy. So most times he will call me. I think
When you do your
one of the
husband
chats
house.
I was saying, mm, that video that I sent you, that was the video I was sent you that I was touching my.
Yeah.
He was one who said I should touch myself. That was my husband's house. I was lying there. That's my husband's bed.
Yes.
Because Chris, I don't know what happened. When I married my husband, I told my husband before I married him that I actually do not have feeling for him. That I loved someone. My husband insisted that he wanted to marry me. So he said when in the marriage, love will come. When I got married to my husband, I was still in love with Chris.
Okay.
And my husband then was also not good to me. After I married my husband, when a man has chased you for a long time and eventually married you, my husband was obsessed with me when he was chasing me. Eventually married me. He treated me on the night of our marriage. Because my husband bought a car for me before before we got married. He bought a car for me. The night of our marriage, he beat me up. After our traditional marriage, he beat me up. So I left. I even left and went to the hotel. That I would resolve it. I came back. The marriage was a toxic one. My husband used to beat me in their village, drag me on the ground. So it was in between off and on. One, I understand my husband because when I married my husband, I never allowed him to touch me. When he wants to touch me, I didn't have feelings. And when he wants to touch me, sometimes he struggles. So I deprived him of sex most times. My mind was somewhere else.
Which is Chris.
So most times he forces to even make love to me. It's force. Sometimes he will I won't call it, but he forced himself to make. So it was in that process. We're back and forth. Sometimes he beats me because of it. That is the only thing that made him angry. He beat me because of it. So it became very toxic, and I couldn't force it because I didn't have feelings for him, and I told him.
Okay.
So doing that back and forth, my husband now started. He was already a womanizer before I even married him. But that was a part of the reason why I lost feelings for him, even prior before the marriage or before I even met Chris. I knew him before that, but I lost feelings. So he now started carrying women. 2 months into the relationship, started bringing women. If I go to film, he will bring women into the house. Long story short, eventually got one pregnant.
Okay.
And that time we had issues. I traveled. When I came back, I didn't even come back. It was one that called me that someone is pregnant for him. But he didn't want to marry the girl. He was begging that I should come back. I told Chris, see what's going on. That I want to go back to my husband. Chris didn't like it, but I eventually went back. When I got there, Chris called me and was crying. There was the chat I sent you where he said it was not okay. He didn't expect me to do that. That was that chat. Then he started crying that I shouldn't have to come back to my house. He told me to wait. That when I got married to the man, that he felt so bad. When he saw that I left, that he was happy. Now I've gone back again. So when I got back, I thought that my husband was going to change. No, my husband, even when I got back, I met the lady with the child and her mother inside the house with a newborn baby. I told them to leave the house. My husband sent them away. But that was not okay because he continued beating me. In fact, the beating became worse. That was January. I came back December 2021. Then January 2022, he started beating me. So it was that time that he was beating me that me and Chris was not talking on the phone.
Okay.
So the last beating was
play love online.
Yes. So that was that time he now beat me. The last beating he gave me, blood gushed out of my nose. Chris said I should carry my bag and leave the house, that he was going to marry me. So that was when I now left. Yes.
Okay.
He said, make I not even carry anything. He said, make I just come out that he will marry me. Because that day I showed him the blood.
Yes.
So I went straight to his house. So now love. That I traveled free to Lagos. My arriving in Lagos, I went straight to his house. We made and that was it. So he said I should tell my people to go and return my bride price.
Yes.
So my people now, I told my mom I wasn't going to marry again and everybody. So my people now called my husband to return the bride price. My husband refused. But eventually they dropped the bride price with the lady that has baby for him. So that was it. So that's how me and Chris now started again. Before I now got pregnant, I sent it to him. 2022. So that love I was pregnant. So I told Chris. I think that was the 2021. No, 2022. That thing is that 20. This thing happened in 2021, ending of 2022. But I know that in between that time, that was when I left my marriage. So that 2021 ending or 2022, that was when I left my marriage. So when I got pregnant, I sent him the pregnancy test. I didn't say anything. Then between around 1 month, 2 months of that pregnancy, I miscarried it. Okay. So it was when I miscarried it that when I went for abortion, it was my friend that videoed. Even that video, I can show you. I will send you the original video with my friend's voice where she said, "This one is for Oga." Because my friend knew I was going out with Chris. So when they were doing when you miscarry, they will take you to hospital. They will the remains of the miscarriage. So when she videoed it, and I sent it to Chris. Now, the reason why, now we'll get to that part. So this is just the summary of how we met. So it was in between that 2022 that this Chris now approached me. Professor started calling Chris out. Chris now approached Professor from South Africa. Yeah. So Chris now said I should follow Professor out to find out why he was calling him out.
Okay.
Everything was okay between me and Chris. We're still loving. We're still very much in love. So when I now went to profess, I told him my name is Chioma Johnson. I'm calling him. I called him with an American number. I said I'm calling him from the US. That I saw he called Pastor Chris out. What is the issue? So Professor told me, and I found out that Professor didn't have much on Chris to care for.
Yes.
So I came back. I told him that he didn't have much on you. He said okay. Then 1 week later, Professor started calling Jeremiah out over the missing child, baby testimony.
Baby testimony. Yeah.
Yes. Then Chris now said, I think Chris and Jeremiah now approached me.
Okay.
Chris called me on 3-way call. I should think I have established relationship with Professor. I should go back to him and know why he's doing that to Jeremiah, whether he wanted money or he wanted, or what is the whole reason of calling Jeremiah out. So I followed, initially I told Chris, I won't do it. Me, I don't know your friend. And me, I don't like this thing. He said no. If I love him, I quote him directly. What did you say? If you love me, Didi, do it for my friend. He's my brother. That was when I now went to profess. And then they gave me a plan. They said I should use Profex and make him fall in love with me. I should make him all the promises in this world. So, which was what I did. I engaged Profex. We started talking. While we were talking, I made him all the promises to this heaven and earth. Profex now fell and now trusted me more.
Yeah.
So while Profex was talking with me, the case of baby testimony came. Ruth Matthew. They said Jeremiah arrested Ruth Matthew. So Professor now said, can I help to release Ruth Matthew? That they took her to Abuja, that the case that came and all that. That was when I said, okay. Now I told them that Professor said I should go and release Ruth Matthew. So that was why I went to Abuja during that case. Went to the police station and saw Ruth Matthew. So when I saw that he was a cripple, I came back to Chris and Jeremiah and I said, sorry, I will not be able to hurt this woman. If your issue is to arrest Chris, I arrest Professor. Let's deal with Professor. This woman is a cripple. Don't arrest her again. So that was when I said, okay, that they are not after, but I should just find out what is the connection between the lady and Professor.
Okay.
So, which is the case of Ruth is something I would tell you some other time, but I'm just summarizing it.
Just summarize and go first.
Yeah. So in summary, they used me to set Professor up. First money they sent to Professor was $3,000. They said I should lure him to Nigeria.
Yes.
So, and it was Chris that sent that money. I sent you the screenshot where he forwarded me the receipt with his number.
Yes.
So it was Chris that sent that money. Yes, at that time, me and Prophet was agreeing that we will come to Nigeria. So eventually, while we were also doing that, Prophet now sent me to Apostle Johnson Suleiman.
Yes.
To also tell him that Otobo wants to come and do interview on his page, that I should give him bill if he doesn't want Otobo to come. I should give Suleiman bill, 30 million naira. So I went to Suleiman, but when I reached out to Suleiman, I told him, sir, this is who I am. And I am not really working for Profex. I am here in defense of your colleagues, Prophet Jeremiah and Chris. Now, Profex has sent me to come and blackmail you and collect money. I want you to insult me and Profex. I will record it and send to him. Embarrass us, which Suleiman did. He now told me that it's not even about pretending that he's going to arrest Profex. He now sent me a court document where he has restricted or some YouTubers and also show me his Profess's name, sent it to me. So I went back to Professor. I said, the man know about you. That the man is angry. The man said he will arrest you, he will sue you. So that was how that one. When I sent to Professor that court case, he just did not talk about Suleiman again. Then we continue the baby testimony matter.
Yes.
So it was that thing I told Suleiman. Suleiman now told Cassie.
Yes.
Cassie now went and exposed me because to profess that I am not who I think I am, or that they are using me to lure him. So that was why Profess did not come to Nigeria. Okay. Though he did not believe them 100%, but he did not come to Nigeria. So later, Profess now said he has personal vendetta between Iginla, Idahosta, Chris, Suleiman and Jeremiah. They planned to arrest him with J. Israel. But
Yes.
that arrest, him and J. Israel formulated it. And J. Israel told him to disable his page to pretend like he has been arrested so that they can collect the money, which J. Israel collected money. That was his
Elekwe.
own personal vendetta. Yeah, so that was his own personal vendetta with these pastors. He said I should arrange a 3-way call so that, but now, profess now, me and him, he calls it street. Me and him, we are now running street. He said he's training me on the business we should be doing. I'll be the one to be going forefront to be collecting money from pastors. That was profess for him. Now we are a couple. We're already in love, so he trusts me. So he now said I should arrange a meeting between all these pastors so that they go discuss with him into them. If they want him to stop, that they will pay him money. So that I went back to Chris, and Chris made that 3-way call. The people in that call was Bishop Idahusa, Chris' friend,
Yes.
and Chris Okafor with Prophet. Prophet now narrated why did they arrest him and all that. So at the end of the day, they now Idahusa now told Prophet, because Idahusa was afraid. He now told Prophet how they planned the arrest, how many of them who put money and all that. They now started pleading with Prophet. After that 3-way call, they apologized to him, that they left the call. Then Prophet now said I should approach them to pay him. And they should pay him $200,000 before he will leave them.
Okay.
So when I now told, in fact, before this whole thing started, I told Chris that I won't do this thing if my lawyer is not involved, because I thought the way the whole world was on that matter, and it has to do with a missing child. So I told them I will not continue this if my lawyer is not involved, if the police is not involved, and all that. So they involved my lawyer, involved their own lawyer, involved EFCC, which I personally went to EFCC in Benin and wrote statements. They also involved Interpol. Chris' lawyer, Obani, was the one who sent one of his lawyers from his chambers who took me to Interpol in Lagos, where I also made statements. So I had those cover before I continued in my disc. So why Prophet demanded that money? They now said, okay, they know what to do. Them and what the Interpol guy now discussed it. I don't know how they got money, but there was a video they sent me with empty video with dollars showing on a bed. So when they showed me that, I will send the video to you. So when they sent me that video,
Will you play for them? Yeah.
when they sent me that video, it was the Interpol guy that sent me that video. So when they sent me that video, then I now put it on reel. They did it and I inserted my voice. I said, Professor, the money is here. I'm in the room. That's why you can only hear my voice in that video. You can't see me. I acted like I was in the room then. I was the one videoing it. So when I sent him the video, Professor deleted it. Then he now said, okay, how will he get the money? I think he has to come down to Nigeria. I think he can't come to Nigeria. These people will be looking for him. So we agreed that he'll come to Ghana. So it was that coming to Ghana that Suleiman now also came and told him. Not Suleiman, actually. I think Cassie.
Cassie, yeah.
Not Suleiman. But I think Suleiman told Cassie who I was. It was Cassie and I told Prophet that they want to arrest him. They want to set them up to arrest him. So it was in that process that Prophet, because Prophet believed I had that money, that me and Chris want to chop that money. Prophet started calling me and Chris out.
Yes.
Trying to expose me and Chris, telling Jeremiah that the money did not get to him, that me and Chris held on to that money. So that was why Prophet started calling Choma Johnson out, burying me and Chris' picture. It was because of that money. So why Prophet started calling me, I said, Choma Johnson, Doris Ogala. Why he was not trying to do that? Me, and I came out and now told people that I'm Doris Ogala. Then I now exposed. Before I came out, that was when Prophet Jeremiah now promised me that money. That car, sorry. Because our agreement when I started doing this thing is that I'm not going to show my face. That I was going to only tender the evidence in court and probably come and defend that a witness. That was why I used Choma Johnson. But because Prophet was calling me out, even all of us were panicking. I was so angry. I was like, I don't like this. That was when the man said, don't worry, I'll buy you any car of your choice. Choose.
That was promise to buy you any car of your choice.
Yes. So make I just go out. So it's time for me to come out now and expose Prophets. Because that time the heat was on his church. And it would have taken only me to stop that heat by exposing Prophets. So they wanted me to come out with my face. They even promised to buy me house, not only car. They promised to buy me house, yes. So when I now came out, I came out on I first of all told Dada. Dada did not believe me. Then I came out I went to Dr. Chidi, and I told Dr. Chidi everything. Look at what is happening. Look at. But I did not tell Dr. Chidi that I was going out with Chris. I did not tell Dr. Chidi the full truth. I just told Dr. Chidi that Prophet is blackmailing these people. He's sending me to go and blackmail. But I still maintain that I was in love with Prophet.
Okay.
Because that was the act, so that Dr. Chidi can also counter Prophet, because I was still working with these people now.
Okay.
So it was not then that Dr. Chidi now gave me his platform when I was saying I'm still in love with Prophet. He used to send me to go and collect money. So I said half truths, not all the truth, because I was protecting Jeremiah then. So that was when I came out. I played my conversation with Prophet, the voice recording, where he was sending me to go and collect money from pastors, how much you have paid him, all those things. So that was when I brought it out. So it was now that thing that, scattered the case. And it was through those my confrontation with Prophet, all the things he did in that case, I had it recorded from the beginning, and police had it. Jeremiah them have it, so they used it in court and they won their case. So the car Jeremiah promised me. He said he was going to. Chris now told him to. The first car I sent them was Lexus. Then they said that one is too expensive. Then I now got this Mercedes, which was 45 million. Then I said, okay, that they were going to buy it. Then Chris now told Jeremiah that they should send the money to his account. He should send me the money for the car to his account. So when we left the 3-way call, I asked Chris, why would you stay made in Sedan? I asked him, actually, I did ask him. He said, no, he doesn't want me to put the money. He doesn't want Jeremiah to have my number because Jeremiah has come to his church before and impregnated somebody. And they used 10 million naira to cover it. Yes, that's what Chris told me. Okay. That's what Chris told me. They used 10 million naira to cover the care. So it was there that and I said, okay, now I understand. So Chris was one who sent his account to Jeremiah. So Chris now started sending me the money, 3 million. You will see where I even sent 3 million. I showed you the receipt. Then he said he will send 3 million. I sent you the chat where he said he sent me he sent the money 3 million, 2 million, 1 million. So it was, and to the tune of 10 million naira. So he started badmouthing Jeremiah, saying that Jeremiah does not want to pay the money. I should just forget him. I believed him because he was my boyfriend.
Yes.
So, long story short, fast forward to a few months later, I needed money. And throughout this relationship with Chris, it was not about money. Okay. In fact, he wasn't giving me money. We're just doing love. Me, I had my own thing going. I was okay. So, and Chris is, well, I don't know. I don't ask him for money actually. So the first time I now ever asked him for money because I needed money. So I asked him that I needed money to travel. I was going for surgery. I needed 1.8 million. He said he would send me money. He now sent me 300,000. I told him that was not enough to buy the ticket. He said, by the way, if I need money, your friend has money. And he has my money, he has not given me. He said I should forget about that person. The thing did not go well with me because I needed money. So I had to reach out to Dada. Then I opened up everything to Dada. I said, your brother, Jeremiah, is owing me money. When I opened up everything I did to Dada, I said, I'm going to call him out to give me my money. And I said, wait, let him reach out to Jeremiah. So then I reached out to Jeremiah. Jeremiah said he has paid all the money, that he has his receipt. That he paid 45 million to Chris Okafor's account. So when he told me that, Dada put me and Jeremiah in 3-way call. Jeremiah, I said, I don't know why the man not giving me. He has paid everything. I said, my daughter, I have paid everything. So it was at that point that I called Chris back and I said, give me my money. Your friend said he has paid you the money. And you know I need money. I was angry when I started quarreling. Then he now blocked me. When he now blocks me, that was when I now came online and said, Chris Okafor, give me money. You stole my money. So as I called him out online, he now reached out to, Jeremiah also called him that you should pay this guy the money now. So he started begging Jeremiah that he was in America, that you should please help him, that he doesn't have money, just finished building his hotel. And all that. Jeremiah said, okay, so if Jeremiah will bring 7 million, Chris will bring 8 million to make it so that he'll pay me 15 million naira. And that was the first money that they paid. And Jeremiah said that I should take the 15 million and forget the remaining money. I said, no, sir, I cannot. Because that would be testimony case. They called me name. And this man knew that I needed money. He did not give me. He had on to my money. So I did not. Me and Chris were now doing back and forth. Later, will beg me to go and apologize on public for calling him out. I should come out and apologize before he will give me the remaining money. So it was in that process that he now, I think another thing happened. He now paid me 5 million. The remaining one, he didn't want to pay. He blocked me. So I now got angry. I called him out. I dragged him. He now reported the matter to police, NCC, National Cyber Crime Center, for defamation and cyber stalking. They came to my house. They came to arrest me. They did not see me. They invited me. I went. They detained me for one night. in Abuja. When they detained me, I came back. I was still calling Chris out to give me my money. Then it was in that process that we're doing that fight. I traveled for Christmas. My brother was there in Lahati when I left Abuja, when I left Lagos in November. When I got to Abuja, from Abuja, I came back for Christmas. My brother called and said his leg was paining him. And I didn't take it serious. Okay, it was normal leg pain. So they started carrying, and I told my mechanic to drive him with my car to Abia for Christmas. The mechanic said on their way that my brother was weaving almost every 3 minutes. I said, well, before he got to Abia, his 2 legs were not functioning, couldn't walk. What happened? And it was so quick. Before we know it, the 2 legs now got paralyzed. We were massaging it, called doctors to do this, to do. Nothing was going on. Before you know it, did not give us time. Everybody was confused. The whole body now got paralyzed, including his 2 hands. The thing was just coming up like this. My brother's body just paralyzed, could not talk. So the next thing, my brother couldn't even say anything, like they were strangling him. My brother died. Like the whole thing happened mysteriously. He was a strong boy. Nothing was happening to him. And before my brother died, I had a dream. Just that then that's why I am hard on myself, because I wasn't really, when I said not spiritually enlightened, or I didn't take my spiritual self very seriously.
Yes.
Because I had a dream before my brother died, and I didn't really take that dream serious. I had a dream where Chris arrested me in that dream.
Yes.
No, he came with police. Before they arrested me, he came with police, or some people. They were shooting, so they wanted to shoot one at me. My brother now came and gone up, pierced at my brother's heart. So in that dream, I was crying. Then the police arrested me in that dream and put me in a bus and drove me off. I woke up.
Yes.
I don't know why I didn't take that dream seriously. But 2 weeks later, my brother died. That was the beginning of my depression, because everything about me died with it. We were planning my brother's burial. My brother died January, but this is on February. 5 days to my brother's burial. Chris said policemen. The moment I posted the poster out of my page, policemen came to the house, in our family house in Umaya, and arrested me. They took me to say CID.
Yes.
And detained me. I was there for 2 days before I had asthmatic. I had panic attack. Then the DCJ now told them to take me away. They took me to Abuja and served me court paper. My oga is called the CP. That I lost my brother, and my brother's burial is in 4 days. I was sent in a release. When I got back, my brother was buried. After my brother's burial, everything was not the same again.
Yeah.
I was rushed to hospital. I was lifeless. It was the only thing that was left was for the doctor to pronounce me dead. Because the doctor said I was lifeless, I wasn't breathing. So the doctor was going to tell my parents that I was dead, because I don't know what happened. I just collapsed. I saw things I can't really see them now. And what happened to me when I was lifeless, and what happened. So when I recovered, I was angry. That was when I came out and started calling Crystal again. At that point, I started now releasing our videos, our chats. Then he now sent his lawyer to go and tell my lawyer that he wants to settle out of court, because they actually took me to court. I'm jumping that part. After my brother's burial, I went to court. So it was after that I painted them. And I said we should settle out of court. Then he now paid me that 15 million. And they came with one agreement that I should not talk about it, I should not press charges, I should not go to court, I should not talk about this. I sent you the agreement.
Yeah, that's yeah.
What pained me in all this? What is paining me in all this? It's not the fact that, it's the fact that I love Chris. We had a relationship. He made me to come out to defend him and his friend, which costed me my career. That baby testimony case gave me a very bad name. It made people curse me. People called me all sorts of names because I got involved in that case. I suffered miscarriage for Chris. It was during this police case that it was during this that Chris turned that miscarriage video to abortion and started sharing it to bloggers. Chris also carried my, I sent you that video where he said I should touch my breast.
Yes.
And also carried where he told me to touch my private. He sent it to his lawyer. His lawyer sent that video to his son, who now sent it to my own lawyer. That was when they wanted me to stop talking about Chris. They wanted to blackmail me with it. What is paining me in this whole thing is that I lost everything because of Chris. My dignity as a woman, my career. Chris promised he was going to marry me. After everything I did for him and Prophet Jeremiah, how they paid me back was to arrest and detain me. After detaining me, they gave me a very bad reputation. Chris will not marry you. No. Who is he leaving me for? No. At this point, bro, everybody know me and Chris now. I sent you the chat now. Everybody know me and Chris. Now he wants to marry. I want to believe that this girl he wants to marry, I'm not too sure, but I need to confirm it. Because there was a girl he told me that was pregnant for him, that he kept in the house. He kept in the house, and that the girl, now he wants to, the girl said she's pregnant. Though he lied to me that one girl is accusing him that he got him pregnant, because he gave her accommodation. Now the people that own the place wants to sell the place, the girl doesn't want to move out. He even said, if I know those people that used to kidnap people, this thing, that is my witness. I know people that kidnap people. Because that girl and one of his pastors that left him, Pastor Felix, yes, was calling him out. So, and he wanted the girl to leave. So I'm trying to find out if that girl is the same girl he's proposing to in a bid to cover the child that the girl gave birth to him, or and I've called people to confirm if it's the same girl that he got engaged to, so that the scandal will not come out. Because I know that the girl gave birth to a boy, the one that he wanted to buy that. He said she eventually gave birth to a boy. Then he didn't accept the pregnancy, or he told me that he didn't even do it. But Pastor Felix later told me this story. Said the girl was pregnant for him. He didn't accept the pregnancy, so he wanted to remove the girl from the house and send the girl away. That was what happened. So at this point, Chris, our marriage was, I don't know who he wants to leave me for. And him, we agreed that we marry. I've lost everything now. If it's spiritually that he killed my brother, me, I don't know. If it's not spiritual, me, I don't know. But the truth is, what am I living for again? Who is he going to leave me for? Who is going to marry me? Nobody. And now he wants to marry. My life is shattered. Bro, when I say my life is shattered, my life is shattered. I don't even know what is happening to me. I don't know what is happening to me. Everything about me is shattered. So, at this point, Chris, either me and him be married or we stay single. Nobody will marry. Nobody will marry. Either we marry or we stay single. Chris will not leave me for another woman. For who now? Bro, if they start that wedding, at least I know that another reporter will follow me. I know that Parada team will follow me as media people. You know, when they don't marry, they will ask, do anybody have anything against this marriage? I will neck. I will show the scar. The scar. Because immediately after that miscarriage, I did operation. for fibroid. So I will show the scar. I had a miscarriage today. I entered theater the next day for operation. I would never for Chris. Who will marry me now? Bro, Chris no go do that marriage. It's either he buy me there or that marriage no go. Either me and Ade single will not marry, or we will end up marrying each other. That is our agreement from the beginning. I'll send you chat. That is his number. Post it and let people see if that man was not in love with me. This chat I sent you, you see the love. Well, there's no way we know they make recycle. She's a will carry me. Yes. We will come in house. Sometimes everybody don't sleep midnight. We go make the inside carry. Sometimes we go carry me go inside the room. In daughter, she's over. That's a sister daughter. And she they always receive me. In fact, just like the children they buy me gifts. When she's about wanted to marry, Chris was calling me to come and stand him as his wife. So there is nothing. And he introduced me to we used to do uniform. We used to wear uniform and go to church. And I was my wife. When he's doing program, I'll be the one to call my police contact. I'll give him over 30 police, 50 police. He will not pay 1 naira. But they call him out on the media and he will call me. Who is he leaving me for? Who am I going to go back to? My ex-husband is married. Another one woman is sitting on my ex-husband. Then who am I going to go back to? I don't know what he has done. I can't even love another man. It's only Chris I love. If man is chasing me out now, I don't even see them. I don't go out of my house.